And welcome back everyone to the FX Open Invitational number 6. I am Unstable, joined here by Lirilian for this next match. It is going to be the losers match of Group B. We are going to have TSLInori up against XpecIMHui. First map is of course going to be Ohana. These guys have to win this set to stay in it to have a chance of going into round of 32. But let's get into the game, shall we? We do have up first, we got Hui from Expect down here at the bottom right-hand corner as our blue Protoss, of course a Taiwanese player, very popular streamer. Had some pretty funny games that we saw against Marine King. You definitely want to check those out on the VODs on our YouTube channel if you haven't had a chance to get them live. But of course, up the top left, we have TSLInori, who lost to Gummio in the first match. It was a very intense series as well. And this is going to be my first cast with you, Lirilian, so let's get straight into it. We got a PvP coming up. Ohana is definitely an interesting map, to say the least, for this matchup. What do you think?
Yeah, Unstable, I'm very happy to be here with you, to be casting my first game for the FX Open Invitational here. A PvP, like you said, on Ohana is what we're going to be tuning into. And like you pointed out, this is a pretty interesting map for PvP. A map, in my opinion, not very well suited for blink play, just because of the way that the main bases are set up with those ridges. It's a little bit harder to blink into the main base and blink out of there. I've seen so many times Protoss players try to blink their stalkers out of that main base and get like 3 of them stuck on the high ground.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a painful situation when you see that happening. You're like, oh, I can feel your pain. I can feel your pain.
Yeah. But definitely an interesting map, to say the least. The double watchtower in the middle does open up quite a few options. And we haven't actually seen a PvP yet in the entire series so far, so this will be interesting as well. So far, nothing out of the ordinary from both of these players, just opting for your standard gateway gases openings. And we've been seeing a lot of variation in PvPs coming out recently, like in GSTL, GSL. The PvPs have definitely become a lot more strategic and more streamlined. So both of these guys, I'm not exactly sure on the PvP skills of Hui, as I haven't had a chance to tune into his stream for quite a while, but if you haven't checked him out, he is a very popular Taiwanese streamer, plays in the TSL, of course, and Inori should need no introduction, is on that TSL roster, currently making very good headway in GSTL and GSL as well. So, noticing here we do have a second gateway coming out from Hui. That's the only real difference we've got so far.
Yeah, this PvP's, you know, slow but steady. We see the double gas out of Inori was slightly earlier, I believe, than for Hui. And both of them are now going to be working with 6 workers into those simulators. We're going to see the triple stalker opening, of course, for Hui, which could, you know, he could poke out on the map with those 3 stalkers and maybe even get up the ramp. Those 3 stalkers can be very potent if Inori decides to go for some kind of very quick robo opening. Those 3 stalkers can actually turn out to be quite the menace to deal with. But we'll have to see what we're going to be getting into here.
Exactly. We have seen from the games versus Marine King that Hui does control his stalkers quite well. Different situation in PvP, of course, to PvT, but it does give us a little bit of an idea on what's going to go down. We do see that Twilight counts are going down at the far back of Hui's base, so going to be very aggressive early on. And just having a quick look at Inori's vision, he came through when he saw the double gateways. And whoa, probe actually going to be taken out in the middle here by Hui's stalker. That's going to give him a good idea on what's going on. Of course, Inori now coming out as well. This stalker is going to get caught, though. There is a zealot there as well, and Inori just moving forward, getting in a couple of extra shots on the stalker, of course. Whoa, look at this. Hui's probe on the left-hand side, but his second stalker is far behind here. He's going to be pushed back, and this is going to be a frustrating situation for him because that extra zealot just pretty much turns the tide completely. There's that third stalker coming out. He has to control these correctly and dodge the zealot while taking out that stalker, but Inori's not going to jump up that ramp. He's not. Oh, actually, maybe he is. Wow. Very interesting. That zealot
he is going to push up that ramp. And he might take out a stalker here, but after that, he's definitely going to have to run. He's not even going to get that stalker. So good engagement here for Hui, as his first proxy pylon has gone up on the left side of the map, and his blink is halfway done right now. He sacrificed building that third stalker early on and decided to go for the Twilight Council earlier, so he can get that blink out even earlier. And the faster the blink is, the better, of course, because Inori, he's gone for... Was this a 1-gate expand? I think it was. That is insane. 1-gate expand into 3-gate robo. This is going to be very tough for Inori to hold on to. His first Immortal is not going to be out by the time Blink finishes if Hui Chrono boosts that Blink a little bit, and he does have a lot of energy on his Nexus Unstable, so he could throw 2 Chronos into that Twilight Council and hit a very powerful timing.
Oh, but he does catch one Stalker on the ramp here, and he needs to be careful with that Sentry, pulling it back just in time, and oh, barely saves that Stalker. It is on what, 1 HP? Yep. Now does have vision of the high ground though, of course. Now, This situation is quite common on the Korean ladder for PvP. You've got that one base blink Stalker against the expanded Immortal Stalker composition, and it really comes down to how well you can control. And Hui's coming in here now. He is going to be able to target down that weakened Stalker. One force field does go down, but there's just not many units here at all for Inori. He's in a lot of trouble. That pylon at the front are going to be taken out. Here comes the Immortal, though. There aren't really enough Stalkers. Oh, nice catch with a couple of those force fields, taking those Stalkers down to quite a bit of health. However, he does get that pylon, so no reinforcement warp-ins down at the bottom of the ramp here for Inori.
That's very annoying. He's going to have to warp in on the high ground, of course. Inori is, he's in a little bit of a supply block right now, losing that pylon just a second ago. Here comes the blink forward by Yui. He targets down the Immortal, loses one Stalker in the process, but there's just not enough meat in this army for Inori right now, and he's going to lose a lot of stuff because it doesn't have the DPS to take these Stalkers out. Mainly sentries are here, and the sentries might tickle one Stalker to death. No, I think that Stalker's even to stay alive at 11 HP. The force field is down on the ramp. The Immortal comes down. 2 extra Stalkers here for Inori as well. This Immortal, of course, very potent, and it looks like with the reinforcements, I think Yui might be able to take this Immortal out. Good focus firing by Inori, by the way. He focuses down all the weak Stalkers there with that Immortal, getting the maximum out of it.
Yeah, notice though that the Zealots were doing a lot of damage to those Stalkers during that. And now he's going to be forced to pull back because 3 of his Stalkers are in the like sub-red health, and that Zealot is just going to take him out one at a time. And Huey just doesn't have the unit reinforcements to come through. He is down by 12 supply. We've got another Immortal is about to come out. Does pick up one of those Zealots, but it is only 3 Zealots at home for Inori. Inori's going to have a very hard time defending this next wave. He needs to control this quite nicely. Another Sentry coming in. He can catch these Stalkers, but nice control by Huey so far. But the Immortal just does so much damage here.
Oh yeah, Yui is in a little bit of trouble right now. He needs to break this soon. You know, when that second Immortal hits the field and those 3 gateways really start to come into play. Chrono Boost out of double Nexus, of course, helping out as well. And when 2 Immortals are out on the field with this many Zealots, the situation could get dicey. But Yui is hitting a nice timing here. The second Immortal's just now hitting the field. He is he gonna make it? I don't know. 2 Immortals, that's just too much for the army right now of Yui. And Yui's once again playing defensive and you know, slowly going backwards.
Yeah, I feel like he's just losing ground now. As soon as that second Immortal came out, he just doesn't have the Stalker count to be able to take them out in 1 or 2 volleys, which is really the only thing that you really... It's the one thing you must have versus a Stalker in this composition as from USA. He's going up the ramp again. He's walked straight into Zealots, though, and they're just going to beat on those Stalkers. He's trying to target down the Immortal. This is not going well for Huey at all. He is now 20 supply down. This Zealots are chasing down these Stalkers. He's trying to get that Immortal. Oh, 20 HP. Still would have taken a couple of hits. But this is looking in dire straits for Huey now.
Yeah, Yui's in a lot of trouble. That Immortal staying alive was definitely a bit of a turning point here. Of course, the turning point was a little while ago when Inori managed to keep that Nexus and most of his units alive. Now with a 3rd Immortal hitting the field unstable, I don't see this happening for Yui anymore. And he's dropping down a Nexus and a Stargate. That is not a usual follow-up at all to... You know, a Blink Stalker all into a Nexus and a Stargate. That is definitely going to be surprising Inori a little bit.
Well, he did drop down a Robo and then cancelled it in favor of that Stargate, so a little bit of indecisiveness there from Huey. It could turn around to hurt him. Looking at the worker count, it's 39 to 27 in favor of Inori, and he's now completely defended. So what he can do is he can sit here for a little bit longer, just max up a little bit, and just push out it with a very strong force, because he's going to know that because there's that Blink timing, Huey, even if he decided to cut his losses earlier, is not going to have an expansion up in time that's going to be profitable for him anytime soon. We do have a double Stargate, though, for Huey, going to try and change into Void Ray play. And this could work out quite well for him, because there's only 1 Stalker and 3 Sentries in this unit composition for Inori.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Of course, he saw how many Sentries, Zealots, and Immortals there were out. He was like, well, if I go for any kind of Colossi tech, I'm going to be way behind. If I go for more Stalkers, that's not going to work because he's got so many Immortals. The only thing I can really do is, you know, make a gamble and go for Void Rays and hope he doesn't scout it and hope he doesn't react in time. But TSLInori, he's getting the Blink, and he's going to be transitioning into a lot of Stalkers, I feel. And did the Stargates get scouted by the Observer?
Yep, it did. Well, one of them did. It was like a hair's length away from scouting the second one. But either way, he knows how to react to this now. He's getting his own Blink, of course. You must match your opponent's Blink to go toe-to-toe with them. Otherwise, it just doesn't end well for you in this matchup. But Inori is 40 supply up, remember, so he can just push forward here. He has the Immortals to be able to deal with this. And Huey hasn't had enough time to get that Void Ray count up. He's only got 1 on the field, 2 more in production, but this army from Inori is just walking across the map. I have a feeling that if Inori delays, He might be, Huey might be okay, but I don't think he's going to delay much. He's just waiting for that pylon to go up, and he's going to push through here. There's also a warp prison with 4 zealots over on the right-hand side to come into main at the same time.
Yeah, it's just too much for Yui to really handle right now. He just doesn't have enough units. He took a big gamble going for that Nexus and the double Stargate at the same time. And here comes Inori up the ramp as the Warp Prison flies into the main base. Does not start unloading units. And there they go. Zealots into the main base right now. And the fight at the front is not going well for Yui as well. He's now down by over 50 supply. The Void Rays come in, but Blink is finished up for Inori, so you can just blink those Stalkers back one by one. He doesn't even do that. He aggressively blinks forward. The Void Rays. Is there enough anti-air to kill the Void Rays here? Yes, there definitely is. 4 Stalkers and a lot of sentries left alive. And Huey, he has to punch out that GG soon. And there it is. GG gets called by Huey.
Even if he wasn't able to take it.
Takes game 1.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he wasn't able to take out those Void Rays, if you look at the main, there's like 4 Zealots and like 5 Stalkers and more being warped in there as well. So congratulations to Inori taking down game number 1, keeping himself alive in this tournament. We'll be right back after a 2-minute commercial break with game number 2. Stay with us.